in a formal letter dated 1st November 2024, the All People's Congress APC Party's National Secretary General Lansana Doumbouya Esquire requested Dr. Samura Matthew Wilson Kamara, former national leader and the party's presidential candidate in the 2018 and 2023 elections, to vacate the office of national... We'll just go on a quick break and we'll come right back to give this guest time to get studio. All right, welcome back. We apologize for that. Now, as I was introducing earlier, in a formal letter dated 1st of November 2024, the All People's Congress APC National Secretary General Lansana Doumbouya Esquire requested Dr. Samura Matthew Wilson Kamara, former national leader and the party's presidential candidate in the 2018 and 2023 elections, to vacate the office of national leader. The request is based on Section 47A 4 of the APC Constitution, which stipulates that the role of national leader should be relinquished 6 months after the announcement of election results if the candidate is not elected as president. The APC leadership referenced an agreement reached during a December 2023 meeting where Dr. Kamara reportedly committed to stepping down as national leader in accordance with the party's constitution. Dr. Kamara's role was extended to oversee the tripartite committee's work until its report was finalized, a task which has now been completed. We ask, is this the right time when the party is fighting for unity? To get this conversation done, in the studio we have Thomas Pa Ali Babadi, political analyst, and Abdul Karim Kamara, member of the APC publicity team. Good morning, gentlemen. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning.
Good morning, Sir Leone.
Abdul Karim, let's start with you. Your constitution says 6 months after the elections. It's been almost thrice that period. Why wait till now to do this, write an official letter? In fact, why even write an official letter to that effect when you would expect that this should not be a conversation ongoing?
Firstly, the current national officers are guardians of the APC Constitution. I hope that is very established. And if that is so, they're there to guide and guard that Constitution safely, to make sure that nothing is done that is not in the interest of the APC party Constitution. So thus, in as much as Section 47 is very, very clear about the leader of the party, they must not equally lose sight of the fact that if you are attempting to at least go ultra vires, going beyond your scope, they, as the national leaders, are being given that power to guard the Constitution so that things will be done in tandem with the provisions of that Constitution. So it's not really a matter of something that has overdue, as you rightly stated, no. It's just something that has been there before Dr. Samura was made leader. And what is very clear is that sometimes we have to set the record straight. It's not a matter of saying Dr. Samura, in fact, needs to be reminded. The provision is very clear, and that door slams immediately after the expiration of the 6 months. And so it's not like he's been asked out of malice, but it's not like what we lawyers refer to as that provision is a statutory provision by our Constitution, and thus it elapses by an effluxion of time. When I say effluxion of time, when the time elapses, the curtain drops. That's how it is. So like what the national officers did was just to remind him that, you know, your time has elapsed.
Could that reminder have come verbally rather than a letter that made its way public?
Well, again, what is very clear in the modern day is that whatever you do, you must have to support it with evidence. So that when the day comes and you want to deny that I wasn't reminded just because of humanity, that may have escaped me, there's a documentary evidence to say no, you are reminded verbally, and equally you're reminded by documentary proof. And that's exactly what we did. Again, don't forget that that decision was not an individual decision. It's a decision of NAC, and that we understood exactly what happened in 2023, and we were ready to give all we gave to Dr. Samura Kamara to show solidarity with him, that indeed you are the leader of the party, and the time you needed us the most, we are there to compliment you, to see exactly how we'll fight till the finish line. And we fought till the finish line, and we've submitted the recommendation. That's exactly the end of the journey. We have to get started.
So that
again.
was an agreement that the party had with your leader and presidential candidate to say, extend beyond the 6 months because of the contention of the elections result.
No, that cannot be done. In fact, the party, the national officers, they have that power to tell you to continue that provision as enshrined in Article 47 of our Constitution.
So what was his capacity when he was serving in the tripartite?
He was like the lead focal. Like when you say, myself, I was appointed in the tripartite technical committee. That needs no convention, it needs no NAC decision. It just needs the party officials to decide to appoint people.
So he wasn't representing as your party's leader and
no, at that material time, his 6 months was still running.
Yeah, but post the 6 months,
he was no longer. That's why I told you that the sooner December ends in 2023, his position as leader of the party ends right on that.
So I wanted to understand that clearly for any misunderstanding surrounding it, because next month is December, and it's almost now a year after the 6 months elapsed. Why did it span this long to get to a point of giving a reminder to say?
Let me be deliberate to take you back to the letter written by the Secretary General. Aside different discussions, we were able to pinpoint a particular part in that letter wherein he affirmed that indeed he is not ready to do anything that is not in tandem with the provisions of our Constitution. And thus, the party unanimously decided that you just completed this election, this botched election, this election that is the most controversial election ever in the sub-Saharan, and we want to see how best again you can be our lead negotiator, because you just ran the election. You provide leadership for the party. This is now outside the constitutional requirement. Provide leadership for the party as we go to Bintu Mountain to negotiate. But that does not in any way contravene the position as clearly enshrined in Section 47, which is just clear and explicit that the sooner 6 months elapses, even if you have instituted an action in the court, that matter is being litigated or is ongoing litigation. The sooner the 6 months elapses, you cease automatically by an inflection of time.
Abdul Karim, with all that information you've put forward, while it's relevant, it still does not answer the question I asked. Why did it take almost 1 year after that 6 months expired or elapsed before the Secretary General could put a letter together?
Save otherwise you don't want. Save otherwise you've not got my answer correctly. But again, let me repeat. I have said the 6 months and why it still continues even after the 6 months was because the party devoid the constitutional requirement of his 6 months for its expiration. The party decided that you still be our lead negotiator.
Yeah, but you also submitted, Abdul Karim, that he was not representing the party in the tripartite committee as leader and presidential candidate. I asked you that.
That's the point.
You said he was only appointed to represent.
He was just representing the APC now.
That's
and that is why, if you notice, in the APC, in the agreement, it's always between the government of Australia and the APC party. It was not between the government of Australia and Dr. Samura Kamara as an individual. That is what we must try to disconnect.
So because we've got two different submissions on that, please enlighten us again, let's understand. Was Dr. Matthew Wilson, Samura Matthew Wilson Kamara, working for the APC in the tripartite committee?
Very correct.
As leader and presidential candidate?
No, he wasn't. He wasn't at all. Let me make this clear.
So it still leaves me with the confusion. So he wasn't. He was only a representative appointed by the party.
As the lead negotiator.
Lead negotiator.
Just like when the government had chief minister.
So which still means, Abdul Karim, his time as leader and presidential candidate expired or elapsed in December of 2023.
Wonderful. Clear.
So it still leads me with a question. Since December to now, why is it on November 1st that the Secretary General of your party is writing to him to remind him that from December 2023...
And based on a commitment you made...
So why now? Now you understand why.
That's the point I'm still making. And based on the commitment you made, we are again reminding you that don't forget your address to the nation via Facebook, that you've promised the people of this country and APC party in particular, that you're not ready to do anything that is not in tandem with the provisions of the APC Constitution. So we were just giving him a reminder call. That, hey, wait a second, remember you've made this commitment.
Has he been acting as the leader and presidential candidate over the last few...
I think that opportunity is not even created.
After 2023?
I think that opportunity is not even created for him anymore.
So why the need now to send a reminder if he's not acting in that capacity?
And the beautiful part is, what he does not understand in the APC is that there is no distinction between the flag bearer and the leader of the party. He still continues to hold himself out as the APC flag bearer for 2018 and 2023.
Isn't he?
Well, it's not position in the APC. You can still continue to reference Eddie Toure and others as former flag bearer of blessed memory. You still continue to reference Anas Kroma, former president, as former flag bearer of the APC. So these are just things, since you've got this position, you still continue to live with them. They are no more relevant in the APC. What is relevant in the APC is that the position of flag bearer only comes after you've been elected at our NDC, that you are the leader and flag bearer of that particular general election. So the sooner that election is done and you're not able to secure State House, you are not able to take the party to State House, the party at section 47(4) says that particular office becomes vacant with no replacement till the next delegate conference. So that is what he's missing. At one point, he's accepting that
Has he been going to that office and functioning officially in that capacity?
No, he don't even have that office anymore.
So why?
And the beautiful thing he has done.
Us again, why the need now to issue this letter?
Yes, it's for clarification purposes. It's for clarification purposes. Because there's so much of misinformation all over the place. And so people are beginning to get themselves confused. Not for some of us who are providing leadership for the party.
Was it to have been a letter addressed to him reminding him, or a press statement from the party clarifying to the public that as per XYZ, this
I think that letter serves both. It serves both. And that is why the letter was carefully drafted to serve the intent and purposes for which it was done. That A, to remind him that, don't forget, you're no longer the leader of the party. Bam. And again, you are now seen, or you're now remembered, or you're always going to be remembered as our former flag bearer of the party and former leader.
The question of why now brings us to recently, it's been seen, whether admitted in public or not, that there are disagreements within the APC. You have the Dr. Samura Kamara faction, and you have the others against that. The disagreements, the us versus them within the same party, is leading to the questions of why now? Is this just fueling the flames of the divide that is boiling within the party?
This is exactly what brings me here. There is no amount of disagreement within the party. What is within the party is misinformation. And that is more so why we're here, to clarify some of this misleading information. That A, Dr. Samura Kamara was one time our leader and flag bearer, and he's no longer our leader. He can still continue to be our former flag bearer. That is true. That's undisputed. But he's no longer the leader of the party. He will continue to hold the position of flag bearer till infinitum. Nobody will take that away from him. That's just a naked reality. He has been our former flag bearer 2018 and 2023. That you cannot take from him. But what is not clear, or what is not correct, that is misleading his people with, is that he sees himself still as the leader of the party. And for which that is not so. The leadership of the party, that door has closed way back just after the elections and 6 months after the election. Dr. Samura Kamara can be remembered forever in the APC as our former flag bearer. Beautiful. Our former leader. Beautiful. But again, the beautiful part he did was to equally try to play this politics of gimmicks. It's not fair. It's disingenuous to our people. He went to the party after the letter was sent to him. He went to the party and he tried to pick up his books and bags from his office. He left the party 2 days after. He replied to the letter sent to him that it seems to him as if it's like a landlord-tenant relationship, and the letter serves with all intents and purposes as if it's an eviction letter. To me, I think he's been disingenuous. To me, I think with the greatest respect I anchor for him, he's not being sincere to his people. Because you need to come very clear that A, the constitution through which I became leader of this party is very clear and explicit. That after elections, if you cannot take the party to State House, that position of leader, stroke, flag bearer of the party becomes vacant in the APC. What is the intent? What is the rationale? What was exactly the vision, or what was the purpose, or the drafters of that constitution made that provision? So create a level playing field for subsequent participants, so that you will not hold that position to ransom. So that the sooner you contested the general elections and you're not able to secure State House, 6 months after, you relinquish that position to allow new people to come on board, to allow the spirit of sportsmanship, to allow a situation wherein the national officials will have that equal playing field to accommodate all and sundry, so that nobody will be seen as being given undue advantage over the other. That is exactly the intent of that one. But now he is trying to make sure that he stifles that particular provision and the intent for which that particular legislation is, that particular provision is in that constitution, to give himself an added advantage, so that when the time comes for other participants to come on board, that platform, that equal playing field is not created for all. And that's exactly what we are nipping in the bud. We will not allow any situation again anymore in the APC wherein one person will be given an undue advantage over the other. As far as we are concerned, the position of the leader, stroke flag bearer of the APC party is vacant and cannot be replaced with nobody else until when we go to our NDC again in 2026. What is clear for Dr. Samura Kamara, like any other flag bearer before this time, we still recognize him as our former flag bearer of the party and former leader. Just like I always continue to recognize H.E. Ernest by Kroma as our former chairman and leader of the party. Yes, these are things you have taken them now. It's a title you will not take away from him anymore. He has still been, he had been our leader, he had been our flag bearer, but that was then and not now. These are just the distinctions we want to make, we want to lay bare. That our people out there understand, yes, Dr. Samura Kamara was our leader, he was our flag bearer, but he was not able to secure State House for us through the APC. And so we want to create an environment where other participants, other intending candidates will come to the ring and play. And at the end of the day, the lucky person takes the lot. So we don't want to have a situation just to confine ourselves within, again, the same person, whilst, again, we are doing something that is disingenuous to the party, that is not correct, that is ultra-various to the provisions of the Constitution. We don't do that.
Thank you, Abdul Karim. Please continue to stay with us in the studio. Babadi, what's your perception on what's playing out so far in the APC?
It's quite interesting. Quite interesting. You know, we're still crying for democracy, crying for civic rights, civic engagement. And I want to say thank you very much for allowing us to come and talk on these issues that is so topical in the country, and continue to open the gates so that people will come, others will come. Like we were discussing the issues around the opposition in 2016 and 17 and even 18. You know, now they formed government. You know, the same thing I think we should be doing to engage these guys on air, let them understand what is happening and what is at stake for Sierra Leone and Sierra Leoneans. What happened with the APC is what is happening with the APC at the moment is unfortunate, actually. Very, very unfortunate. They are thinking that when we do this is our way. You know, the membership of the party, not the leadership, the membership of their party are interested in the leader of the party, then leader, outgoing leader. They are assuming, on assumption that he never lose the election. Their members. I am a vivacious civil society activist. I started activism in mainstream 2006 under late Amachi Jean Kaba. Till date, I'm on it. I continue to read and learn some other things. What am I saying? I'm saying that this election, for me, is not yet over.
Why isn't it?
Because the result that we know should come out. I observed the elections. We knew what happened. We knew what happened. That percentage I was giving to the opposition was not correct. One. Number two, the percentage given to the government party now was incorrect.
Albert Masako was here this morning. Yeah. Albert Masako from ECSL was here. He just said the results are available on their website.
Well, the disaggregated results?
Well, he said the results, the elections results are available on their website.
Because that is it. I don't know how they've played with it. I know, I respect the executive secretary of NEC. But he's the mathematician. What I'm saying,
contextualize this again to the APC context. They're saying 6 months, well, six months after or whatever, whatever the circumstances are, as per their constitution,
the membership that owns the party. When I was called, I had to engage one of the people, engage them seriously, constructively dialogue with them, ask critical questions, complex ones. The membership of the party is not comfortable with what they did. But the leadership seem comfortable because they're looking at the text in the constitution. The proviso that is there, correct, perfect. But what am I saying is that the membership that owns the party, big delegate or whatever, ordinary members, patron, whatever, they are not comfortable at all. What I think they should have done, but it's been done now already, yeah? For me, I have the greatest respect for Lance Nadumbuya, Esquire. Not because we grew up together, he was my elder, and we admired him when he was at FBC, the law. You know, when we were in secondary school, I admired him because of the way he conducted himself till date. But what I'm saying, that decision was, I mean, it was not timely at all. Now the party is going through a lot of serious rift. Those who are at the leadership positions, you know, are not seen by the membership as being responsible or whatever.
Abdul Karim just submitted that the whole essence is the timeliness, that because of the confusion, that clarity needed to be put forward.
Yes. What I'm saying is that...
does that pass to you as a justification?
For me, no. The timing, and what they are going through now, the perception of the people. You remember what happened when we came here? A day before, a day after we came here to discuss the issue of the elections and some other things, and the visit of ECOWAS or a council or whatever. What happened? I mean, I don't know, but we were told that people went to APC office with huge number, putting up placards. Who advised them to do so? It was spontaneous crowd. That means they still know that we never lose the election. We won. But because it's an ECSL that is updating or whatever, announcing results, so they cheated. Now, Samura is still seen by them.
So what do you think would have been best for the APC to continue to sort of retain Dr. Samura Kamara as leader and flag bearer presidential candidate when the constitution of the party says 6 months after the elections you contest, that position becomes vacant? Is
the constitution carved on rocks? That's one question.
So are you suggesting they should flout the constitution?
If they've given him another extension of 6 months, what is gone? One. Two. Look at what is happening now. You see the rift internally. 3, the perception of the membership, not the leadership.
Is the rift caused by the clarity or the lack of clarity that existed before?
Thank you very much. So who does that? What they should have done?
No, but it's the question I'm asking. Yeah. What do you think? Was the rift created by the clarity or the lack of clarity before now?
Clarity, lack of clarity, non-clarity or whatever. The membership. I'm talking about the membership now, not the leadership, the membership are not comfortable. Speak to those who are technocrats within the party or who are members of that party, who are technocrats, medical doctors, lawyers, economists, chartered accountants. Talk to them. They will tell you what happened was not correct at all. One. Number 2, you have to think about is that the party is going through some form of, I don't know, but they have to go back to the drawing board. What I was expecting in the constitution that I've read after their NDC, I read before the elections, there is a provision for is it not veteran, elders or so, elders council, yeah. Held by, I think, is held by currently, when I asked, I said by the former Speaker of Parliament, SB Dumbia. SB Dumbia is an experienced man. Why can't you call SB Dumbia, say this is the problem, please get the others. Let's settle this issue because of our membership, not the executive. Our membership, let's call SB Dumbia. Let SB Dumbia go around them and discuss, engage, dialogue. It's about dialogue. About discussion, but you do this now, you see the membership now is saying no, it's not correct, it's wrong. Now,
I asked Abdul Karim earlier whether the method of writing a letter to Dr. Kamara was more apt than perhaps issuing a statement to the public generally, clarifying that as per the Constitution, Dr. Kamara is not the flag bearer, whatever wordings put in it. What do you think would have been the best methodology to handle this?
These two are not the best. Call Dr. Kamara, summon him to a meeting, or summon himself and his other courts or members, yeah, or structure or whatever, summon them and engage them. First. Second thing you should have done is that these people who are around Samura Kamara will now rally around the membership of constituencies or whatever, the chairman, chair lady, youth leaders, whatever. Let them understand very well. So they will cascade the information properly. And so you stop the rift. Why am I saying this? In a democracy that we now found ourselves, if the opposition is grappling, babbling, having problems, definitely that central government will just be going like that.
Why?
Civil society does not have the mandate.
Why is this even a rift within the party when it's not like there's an election tomorrow morning that Dr. Samura Kamara would be contesting for Sierra Leone? There's no rerun of 2023 elections.
Yeah, I'm not saying you run or run. You know, we have negotiations ongoing, eh? 1. 2, anything can happen. 3, what happened next morning?
Anything can happen, but clearly there has been clarity from all quarters. Sierra Leone's next election is in 2028. Why is there even a rift with Dr. Samura Kamara's position in the party?
Yes, so what they've done is what has, you know, people are listening to the concept. Why context? Why can't you call the gentleman? Look at the provision of the law. Please, A, B, and C. For this reason, please hand over the keys, like the deputy did. That's 1. But a question to a letter was not prudent, was not timely. Was untimely, it was wrong. Secondly, what have you done again? The elders are there. Get the elders to go around him and ensure he understands, please, this is the station. We are going for an analysis by next year or year after next or whatever. Please, this is what we're expecting of you. Do this. However, negotiations continue. You'll be part of it. Or we remind you of any form of negotiation around the party. Period. Now, let me tell you the reality now. On the ground. These are the realities on the ground. In APC now, not like before, 2001, 2002, 2003, 4, 5, you had kingmakers. Those kingmakers now want to become kings. That's the problem with APC.
Sorry.
You had kingmakers in the APC
this
before.
For proper understanding.
You had kingmakers want to make a king. Now, all those kings want to become kingmakers. The kingmakers, some of them are dead, are gone, are tired. You know, every other person in front wants to become president through APC. So they will do everything humanly possible to ensure they stifle every other opportunity according to anyone. So now the problem is everybody, don't shy from that. From top to bottom, everybody wants to become president. That is a king. But nobody wants to become a kingmaker to make the king. They had. I'm of age. I have been in Sierra Leone all this while. They had kingmakers. 2001, 2002, 3, 4, 5. After 2007 elections, 2010, 11, some of them start going back. You know, getting tired. They're old now. They cannot move at all. Now, the problem is, whatever they do now, Samura Kamara will say, they were also want my position. But however, I'll fight back in his perception. So these are all the challenges. So what they should have done is call the gentleman, go around the elders who are elders at the gate, or veteran, like they put in the constitution. Please, can we engage this gentleman to understand this problem that we're faced with? For me, I'm not admiring at APC as an opposition party. I do not at all. In the last 6 years, they cannot engage constructively in dialogue. Look how we enjoyed John Benjamin. John Benjamin had to come out every month, monthly meetings. 2008, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, before they ceased. Because there was serious rift. APC, no. No. 6 years going forward, no. No engagement, no dialogue, no press releases, no press. I mean, these are just challenges. Just press. You cannot engage constructively on what the government is doing. No. We've not enjoyed it at all. So, you know what? I'm saying this again. Let them don't think, like I told you, see the Tunisia. It is not only the business that you're talking about. You're not a party member. I don't need to be a party member to talk. You are registered with PPIC. So that means
Babadi,
you are integral part of.
I'll come back to you. Abdul Karim, is Dr. Samura Kamara, as per your constitution, eligible to vie for the flag bearer position again?
Before addressing that issue, let me hastily try to...
No, just please clarify that for before it slips, before we forget.
Please, don't worry. I want to advise my brother here that sometimes when you sit at these public platforms to say things, you must say them with absolute certainty. And you must be careful of misinformation. He has said just before he landed that in the APC you don't see press conferences, you don't see press releases, there's no constructive consultation or engagement with the government. Recently, this month, you saw the just concluded press conference from our MPs in Parliament. MPs. Where we addressed the issue of the MCC and the tribunal report about Lara Tilopias. I don't know what he may understand from that one. The second point is, he's not admiring the APC. He used to admire John Benjamin, and that's two different political parties. The way John Benjamin operates in the SLPP and the way the APC operates, we are distinct. So we have a different way of doing our own things. He has done his own ways, he has gone to State House. We've done our own ways, we've gone to State House. So we have different roads to play. Right. And so you need not to tell us how to manage ourselves. I'm not telling you to tell me. But however, it's your decision to admire who you want to admire or not. But I want to tell you that the leadership of the APC in the capable hands of Honorable Jimmy Kaluman-Sare is the best leadership ever I have seen and I'm witnessing. And because of his astute leadership, his consultative leadership, he believes in consultation and to move on. Again, the issue of negotiation, I don't understand what he may understand the distinction between negotiation and implementation. There's nothing, again, that is between the government of Sierra Leone and the APC that is based on negotiation. We have gone past that point. We are now on implementation. We've negotiated, we've gone to the table, we've agreed to disagree, we've resolved with 80 recommendations submitted to the President of the Republic. Now we are just tied on to the fact that we have to follow the government of Sierra Leone to implementing those 80 recommendations to the latter. So we are no longer on negotiation. We've done with negotiation. We've brought our yes and no's to the table and we've agreed. And now we are now challenged to making sure that these agreements are implemented to the latter. The other issue is that why can't we will have called Dr. Samura Kamara to the table so that we'll discuss these things. You think competent leadership, as you rightly postulated here, that you admire the likes of Lansana Dumbuya, the way he carries himself, his maturity, his ability to handle issues, and you think such person will be in the APC as the Secretary General, and you think these decisions or these things cannot be done. We have done these things on several occasions, on countless numbers. Samura Kamara does not make himself available. We have tried to call him, to sit him down, to tell him, you know what, let's look at the bigger picture. It's the APC that is bigger than all of us. Let us make sure that we don't land our people into a situation we just came from. But he's providing himself not. He's making himself so inaccessible. He's making himself so difficult to come by. What do we have to do? We have to sit down and wait. Let me address the issue of timeliness. I am very, very much sorry to say this, that Babadi does not exactly know the APC. Had he been so privileged to the APC, he would have known that the APC does not wash its linens in public. We first do it quietly, and when gentility fails, we take the other approach. We've done everything humanly possible to tell Dr. Samura Kamara, out of civility, out of decency, that you have to apply this route. This is how the party is going. Don't forget, timeliness. We just left a situation wherein the APC was entramped by an ITGC. You remember? We are hosting the ITGC members here, wherein we were injuncted by the party for overstaying in offices as per the provisions of the 1995 Constitution then. And so the entire executive of the span and an interim transition governance was given the opportunity to spearhead the activities of the APC till the NDC. So we don't want a situation to repeat itself again. And don't forget, by our constitution, the APC has to start at lower level elections come next year. And by all estimation, we only have 1 month now, and that is December. By January, the party makes it categorically clear that local office, or let's say ward officials, constituency officials and others, we have to start lower level elections. That will culminate to the ultimate NDC. Time. That tells you we equally need to be complementing the works of the party as well, in as much as we are fully focused on implementing the tripartite recommendations. But however, what is very particular here, and that is the issue of national officers. You cannot go to the NDC if you don't have the lower level or the lower cadre or the lower stratas in a well-organized fashion. And that is why you saw the party has started the re-registration and verification of members, to tell you that this is exactly the approach, just to avoid us to be entrapped by time. So we will be going to a national delegate conference in 2026 to elect national officers. Don't forget, the current national officers, their time in office is only for 3 years. You understand that one? So from 2023 to 2026 is 3 years. Just after 3 years to the clock, they are going to be asked out, as we did to Samura Kamara. So a day is not going to be added upon that. So what you need to do now, you need to start your backroom preparation now. You have to start preparing for the ultimate NDC. So nobody will hold us back. That is also the reason why you noticed that in as much as we were focused in the recommendations to be submitted to the president for the tripartite, we were equally making sure that the party equally starts its own operation. So we are doing them in tandem, side by side, to make sure that we will not be challenged by time. And so if we allow ourselves to be so disconnected from running the internal party activities and solely concentrated on the recommendations of the tripartite, you think we'll not be behind time? No, that will not be in the interest of the party. That will provoke litigation upon litigation. So prudently by the party, we thought it expedient that let us do these things side by side. When we started to do party activities, the Samura Kamara faction said the current national officers are letting go the issue of electoral justice, and now they're undermining Samura Kamara. And we said no. We're fully committed to making sure that the electoral justice we're seeking is achieved. But at the same time, we equally need to be running the party simultaneously. Unfortunately for us, what we have succeeded in doing, is that we have succeeded in having the electoral justice we so desired. All of us know, and it's a naked secret, as he rightly cited, that the 2023 elections were the most controversial elections ever in the history of the Sub-Saharan. We still continue to make and hold our position that the APC never lost the election. The APC never lost the elections. By observer reports, the EU, the Qatar, NEW, and others, all observers made it very clear, abundantly clear, that the APC never lost that election. In fact, there was no straightforward win by either the APC and the SLPP. But yet still, Dr. Samura Kamara said, politics is not about do or die. Dr. Samura, that is what I hold to him. This is what I give him credence for. But he was the same Dr. Samura that was in the party office, that party members were killed. But he told us that APC is not do or die. Politics is not do or die. He's the same Samura Kamara that we told him, you know what, we are not going to complete these recommendations because ECSL has deliberately withheld the results. They did not make them prove. They did not provide us these results. We took our RRF forms to Bintimani, I say, in their bags, in truckloads. We presented RRF forms in their raw data. Now, ECSL, if you have any result to controvert this one, bring your own result and let's just put them. Strict proof. They said they will not make it available. We backed out. You can recall, let me give you,
we would not use the energy to delve deeper into this because the APC had made a decision.
That is where I'm coming now.
Despite all the evidence
that is now where I'm coming to land on. That is why I'm coming to him now. That to say that it's not yet over till it's over, that was exactly the premises I was building to come and nip this one in the bud. That it should not be coming from people like them. Because you already know, and you cited exactly, that there's nothing going to be like anything like rerun anymore. There's anything going to be like anything like taking off President Bio and bringing in Samura Kamara just because of the cooked results that ECSL declares or announces. But however, we've moved past that one with 80 recommendations to tell you that the leverage, the latitude that Kone had then, he will not use it again, or whosoever will be the national returning officer in the next general election will not enjoy that latitude. So we have provided legislative reforms, administrative reforms, and legal reforms. So all that is necessary now is captured in the 80 recommendations, which is in its entirety the electoral justice we've been looking out for. And that is more so why the recent visit from our moral guarantors, for which he said a huge number of people went to the party office, and he said it was spontaneous. That was wrong. It is misleading. It wasn't spontaneous. It was as a result of misinformation that was propelled by Samura Kamara and team I'm being blunt. It was as a result of misinformation being propelled by Samura Kamara and team, I repeat again for the second time, that is going to be the birth of democracy, wherein President Bio will be ousted and Samura Kamara will be installed. And you see how the place was chaotic. So in the prudence of the party and its leadership, this misinformation is too much. Let us call the security apparatus to come and just stop some of these people so that we'll make ourselves clear to them that the moral guarantors are not here as a matter of rerun or to take President Bio and install out and bring Samura Kamara. But rather they're only here for an implementation of the agreement.
Of that question I asked you earlier, as per your APC constitution, is Dr. Samura Kamara eligible to vie for flag bearer position for the next election?
I think Dr. Samura Kamara has a legal team. They will advise him better. If they think he has the...
No, I'm not asking you to represent him. I'm asking you to represent the party. I'll
not give this pro bono. I'll not give it pro bono. If he thinks he's so qualified to run again, they'll advise him appropriately.
Gentlemen, thank you very much for your time, being a part of Wake Up Sierra this morning. This is where we'll end the conversation. Abdul Karim has been from the publicity team of the APC, and Thomas Babadi has been from a civil society voice in the studio talking about the situation boiling down in the APC. But this is as far as time can permit us to have in today's edition of Wake Up Sierra.